Hi Aquarius, welcome to your annual 2025 Astrology Horoscope forecast. Welcome to my channel. I'm Anisha and I talk everything around astrology and tarot. Aquarians, we have one of the most intense year of the decade. We have all the slow-moving planets. We have Pluto, which shifts after 2 decades, has now shifted into your own sign. We then have Neptune, which takes about 14 odd years, which has moved as well. We then have Uranus, which takes about 9 years to shift. That has shifted as well. And finally, we have Saturn, that takes about approximately 3 years to move. And that has moved as well. Now, I'm going to give a quick gist as to exactly how globally all these planets are going to be affecting us, have started affecting us. And then I will deep dive into your own chart. And then I will close the video with a small tarot reading for 2025. Pluto has moved in your own sign Aquarius and it is going to be here till 2045, and this is an extremely lasting transit. In fact, most of us only once in a lifetime experience this specific transit. Pluto's influence in your own sign Aquarius is going to, or has started, revolutionizing our sense of identity, individuality and innovation on a global scale. We will be seeing themes of collective transformation, of self-awareness, self-consciousness, technological breakthroughs and challenges to power structures as well. We will also expect greater emphasis on individuality, societal equality and the power of communities along with it. The key themes around this Plutonian transit in your own sign Aquarius is going to be about the rise of disruptive technologies. We're already experiencing AI in the form of ChatGPT. There will be much more, and also on quantum computing as well. There is also going to be transformation in leadership style. More emphasis is going to be on decentralization and on progressive ideas. There is also going to be a focus on heightened human rights, equality and innovation, because Aquarius, you're all about the collective. You are the only zodiac amongst all the 12 zodiacs that speaks about we and not I. It is really what is good for everybody is good for me. There is a very less focus on the individual, on a single person. However, we will also experience challenges with control and resistance to oppressive structures as well. We also have Uranus that is shifting to this year in Gemini, and this is all about transformative communication, advancement in education, technology, and also how it is that we share information. So this is going to be extremely disruptive. So far, of course, we have had the emails and the WhatsApp and regular simple ways of exchanging information, but now there is going to be on a global scale really advanced platforms of sharing information as well. We will also see new forms of transportation in the coming years and decades. Also, we already own electric cars, on hybrid versions. I don't know, next maybe there will be flying cars, but a lot of focus on travel, tech, and even space travel. There's a lot of focus that is going to be there on. Also, there is going to be focus on evolution of how humans interact with technology. Possibly with brain tech interfaces. I'm sure there's already a lot of work that is there underway. And finally, we have Neptune that is moving in Aries, and this is when things start getting a little worrying, because Neptune shift into Aries is all about personal identity, about leadership and about bold visions globally. This has very less to do with the humanitarian aspect of it. So we can experience maybe leaders who are, of course, will be transformational, but who may not have clarity, thanks to the Neptunian thing, are very trigger happy because they are there in Aries, and Aries ruled by Mars, which is, the lord of, the god of war. We also have Uranus that is there in Gemini. That means, communication can be all over the place. And with Pluto being there in Aquarius, we can expect a lot of, really historical data being dug out, not for the good reason. So maybe countries, how they interact with each other won't really be pleasant. Maybe there could be unnecessary taxes, rules, policies which could, sort of harm other countries, smaller countries, and which in turn could result in some amount of angst. So this entire energy, the Neptunian energy in Aries, which does not have clarity yet it demands action, could bring about some concern. And the last time when celestially, planetarily, we had these planets in a similar aspect was when also we had the civil rights. But Neptune also speaks about spirituality. So we will also see a surge of spiritual warriors and visionary leaders. I'm personally rooting for that. There will be movements for global peace, and which will be integrated in assertiveness and action, because it has also, Neptune is backed with the Aries energy as well. And there is going to be focus on personal authenticity and also of breaking illusions of conformity. Now let me break down the year for you, Aquarians. We are going to be having Pluto, as I think I've been talking about this since last year, in your own house of self. And you have my deepest sympathies and all my support, Aquarians globally, because especially if you have a sun, moon and rising in Aquarius, because there is going to be 2 decades of major personal transformation and self-reinvention. Now, this is both challenging and it is good. It is challenging because transformation of the self is seldom easy, and Pluto is not an easy planet, irrespective of what anyone says, because he will dig out everything under the surface and it will bring it out for inspection, and things that we have suppressed, emotions that we have suppressed, incidents that we have suppressed. This also at times speaks about mental illnesses, stuff which we really sort of bury deep behind our heads, and which we don't want to speak about, which is really, really painful. But Pluto will bring out situations, create situations, will bring up all of this stuff out, and it will be extremely hard to deal with, but also it's literally of a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. You will reinvent yourself, Aquarians. You will just need to have a lot of, as cliched as it sounds, a lot of perseverance, a lot of determination, and also do not sort of throw away the support that you will have. If you're being given support by friends, by by well-wishers, please ensure that you are happily taking the support, because you will need all the support and the help of a community. Literally, you will need all of that to get yourself through out of this. This at times also speaks about, because it is the house of self, it is what is it that you want in life. A lot of you, depending how old you are, you will also be redefining this entire thing. Who am I? What do I want in life? What is the kind of life I want to lead? And also this will give you an opportunity to let go of stuff which is really not serving you any purpose. I think now you will have the courage to just sort of shed that skin and come out of it and saying, I don't care about the society or whatever else the world says, I'm stepping out of this. We then are going to be having Uranus for you for the next 9 odd years in your house of love, romance, creativity and children. And Uranus is here for the next 9 years. And this speaks about creative breakthroughs and unexpected romantic encounters. Uranus also is, while he's known as the awakener, and he's also he governs the internet, he's the planet of invention, but I find him to be quite the troublemaker, because he suddenly he'll bring about stuff which, you're not expecting, you're not prepared, and it will, suddenly relationships will start, suddenly relationships will end, your children will start behaving very erratically when Uranus is there, or your children are extremely eccentric or unusual. Um, I guess only if you're really like young and you're dating and stuff. I'm really taking a risk and saying this. I think it's only when you feel that Uranus is quite kind when it is there in this house. I think otherwise it's you end up having very unusual relationships with your children. They're extremely loving to you. Then all of a sudden they feel what a horrible job you've done as a parent. Though I think irrespective of any kind of parenting, at certain point, I think children do turn around and say that. So I think that's all right. What I would in any case advise for you Aquarians, irrespective, please take therapy. And this is not to indicate that something is really wrong for you, but I think you need to be, if you have not already since last year, you need to be creating like a solid, safe structure for yourself, where a safe place where you can go and talk, where you can sort of air your grievances. You have someone who can hold that space for you and help you navigate through it. So for people, however, who are artists, who are painters, theatre, or even if I would say dancers, if you want any kind of cooking, you will experience creative breakthroughs. And also Uranus can be sort of a way through. This creative pursuit can be sort of a way through all the I would say the deep navigation that Pluto is going to be leading you on. We then have Aries, which is there in your house of communication. This is the house of transportation. This is the house of siblings. So there is going to be a lot of idealism as far as communication is concerned. And Neptune tends to bring about a haze. You are either not being told the truth, or you'll find yourself that you're telling a lot of stories, that you're not being able to sort of have a direct conversation, that you're being quite lost while you're speaking, or you will be told that, why don't you sort of get to the point. Also, it can be that, you may start idolizing higher education or learning a lot. And I think especially for those of you who are studying, you're there in school, you're there in colleges, or even if you're pursuing higher learning, please ensure that you are really sort of disciplined. In that sector, we have Saturn, which is also your co-ruler, which is also there initially for the first 3 years in your house of communication and learning and siblings and your neighborhood. And also this house governs your neighborhood. So you may be finding that your neighborhood is very restrictive. It's not nurturing. You don't get that sense of community. And also because Neptune is there, maybe there is a lot of idealism as well around it, that you may feel as to how it is that you should be treated, or how it is maybe people should have your back, and all of that would be there. Now, Saturn, first of all, don't fear the effect of Saturn. Everyone says, oh, Shani has come and now life is over. But Saturn is really the most structural and hardworking planet out of the entire planets that are there. It makes you get discipline. So it will put structures around how it is that you are speaking, what is it that you're learning, how it is that you need to be. Maybe you need to be really watching yourself when you're talking with people. Maybe you just shoot off the mouth and you don't care. Maybe you need to be more watchful of how it is that you communicate. Also, how that you treat other people, and you don't sort of idolize what they say. Don't really take their word. If someone says, I'm there for you, you don't literally think that, oh, this person is going to be there for me for life. No, don't idolize all of that. And Saturn will give you the practical learning and disciplined communication along with it. So work those 3 years with Saturn. Saturn will bring about situations with maybe you'll get into fights because of your communication. Maybe you'll, your friend circle will become the place where you stay. Your community will really shrink because of maybe you're very trigger happy where your mouth is concerned. You just shoot off and you don't care. But Saturn will teach you all of that you need to be smarter, you need to be careful about what you're saying, to whom you're saying. It'll discipline you. So work with the Saturnian energy, so that for the rest of the 10 years, Neptune is there for a good 14 years, so good 11 years. Once Saturn exits after 3 years, you will be able to work with that, the Neptunian energy, without getting totally sort of swallowed up by it. I'm going to do a quick tarot reading for you. We have 3 beautiful cards. We have the Tower, and then we have the Fool. I love this card. And in the end we have the Hermit. So tarot really speaks about change, because I think this is really speaking about Pluto, which is there on your own house for the next 2 decades, Aquarians. That change is inevitable, whether you like it or not. It has already begun, especially for those of you who have Sun, Moon and Rising in Aquarius. It is necessary for your growth. Please embrace the change. And then we have the Fool, which speaks about taking risks. It speaks about particularly your emotional growth. It speaks about your spiritual growth. It speaks about being more in tune with what is it that you want out of life, and not to stay stuck in a rut. So the Fool is really urging you to, it's a new beginning. Get out and open the door, Aquarians. See what else life has in store for you. Take a risk with something healthy, and also deepen your spiritual practice for those of you who do practice some philosophy, or any philosophy, in fact. Finally, we have the Hermit. Very, very beautiful card. This speaks about being in solitude, being with yourself, introspection. This speaks that solitude will bring you the answers that you have been battling with, the questions you've been battling with, and also it will give you answers in the face of change. So spend a lot of time with yourself, introspect, spend a time with yourself, not watching Netflix, but spend a lot of time journaling, even trying to putting a certain regime for yourself. Stay disciplined. Start off this transit by setting the template, Aquarians, and then you'll hit the ground running when finally Pluto and everyone is sort of descending on you in your chart. Finally, 2 tips for you. First is to embrace your power and transformation. And second is not to resist necessary changes, especially where personal growth is concerned. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Aquarians. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.